Hey guys, welcome to Game Jammin. Today we are testing Orisa. We're specifically focusing on Halt, but let's cover another few things first. So specifically her primary fire does 12 damage, and we did figure out that her ult stack for double damage, so she will do 24 damage per shot if you have 2 ults activated. However, this is not going to happen competitive, so it's not something to be worrying about. And also, I believe the developers were talking about getting rid of that ability. It's still cool though.
I don't know. I want to guess.
So first we wanted to test what happens with Sombra's hacks. What we wanted to know is whether you'd be able to activate your ability after you've been hacked, or what effects would happen. We theorized that you would not be able to right-click after being hacked, and this is what we're going to test right now. So I fire off in the distance, and I get hacked, and I cannot activate the shot anymore, or the halt ability anymore. However, if I fire at a target, it will still activate even if I'm hacked. See how the character gets pulled? So you don't have to worry too much about being hacked, just know that you won't be able to activate afterwards.
Yeah.
This test was, I heard a video that said that the halt was technically a mini stun, so we wanted to see if it canceled abilities. And no, it doesn't. It doesn't have any sort of stun effect. It just moves the character.
Remember that
So we tried to halt on a hook target. So Roadhog would hook a target and then see if the halt would mess with that ability. But it seems that the hook overpowers it. We tried it a few different times, a few different ways, just to see if there was any other side effects. But mostly the hook was stronger than the halt ability.
Go. Now, go.
Yep, still didn't work.
I think it's just overrated.
The mine for Junkrat was interesting because we wanted to see whether the power of the mine was stronger than the halt. What we found out was that the mine pretty much isn't. However, it does go pretty quick, so if your timing's bad, you're not going to stop the Junkrat. Next up is Junkrat's Trap. And the trap is stronger than halt. Next up, we've got Widowmaker's hook. So my friend was convinced that Widowmaker would escape, but very quickly we found out that she does not escape from halt. So we wanted to try it a few different ways, because it seemed like it was canceling out the hook before it activated. So then we tried out if the Widowmaker was mid-flight, would it stop her? So we're going to try that out a few times, and it looks like it will stop her mid-flight, even if the hook is like pulling her along the way. Though there is a timing element to this, because if I'm not fast enough with activating, the character can, even though it got targeted, will escape before it activates. But see, this time we got her.
That's interesting. It says you should be able to.
Up next is the Reinhardt Charge. We're going to do a bunch of testing on the Charge because it was kind of interesting.
That's interesting.
Essentially what happens is the Charge is an active boost, so even though you're able to hit Reinhardt mid-charge, it doesn't really matter because he will just power through it. So I think you'll be able to redirect him, and that's what we're going to try next. This little test was kind of a short test to see whether 2 halt abilities, which one would activate. And the second one is the one that activates. But back to the charge. So if you're looking at the charge right now, we're going to have someone charge across, someone gets pinned, and we're going to try to free them from the pin, and it doesn't seem to work. Again, I think it's just because any powered ability that's got an active, I don't want to say velocity, an active speed to it, you're not going to be able to stop. You will, however, be able to redirect. And also, please note that there's a change to how the Fortify works. So now the Fortify will no longer damage the Reinhardt. It will just stop the charge and nobody will take any damage. Which is probably a good change because the old way was the Reinhardt would take 150 damage. So next up is the Reinhardt Earthshatter testing. So this is a situation that we think may come up in competitive a lot. That you pick up an enemy Reinhardt and then try to do an Earthshatter underneath. The problem you'll find that we had before was that if the enemies are too close to each other, everybody gets pulled up and Reinhardt can keep up his shield. However, if they are separated far enough, then you saw what happened right there, and we were able to land the hit. So we did a little bit more Earthshatter testing because we wanted to see how small of a gap it would still work. And so we tried it over and over again. And what we found out is that the gap, it has to be reasonably sizable for the Earthshatter to get underneath. And also, it's kind of a specific condition. You need the enemies to be lined up for you, but not close enough that you grab up both enemies at the same time. So this time we used a building to help separate the enemies, and this worked out perfectly.
3, 2, 1,
Here we go. Nope, that was still not high enough. So that was a good test, but what we ended up finding out is we had to go even higher, and still didn't work. Which is what we were trying to figure out, is what's the gap that you need. So we ended up trying out, I think just need to be a little bit higher and a little bit better timing, and it was able to work out. Okay, now we've got a better test. This time it'll work, I swear. I think. Oh, it works. Okay, there we go. So it's a pretty reasonable gap, so I think in competitive play it's going to be very difficult to pull off. Next up is D.Va. We wanted to look at D.Va, obviously for the defensive matrix, but we're also curious whether you could pull her out of the boosting ability she has. And it seems it's kind of like Reinhardt's Charge. Because she has an active speed to her, she'll counteract, and yeah, you hit her, but it doesn't do very much. It's not worth your effort. D.Va, however, the defensive matrix will stop the halt ability. She'll just eat it. No problem. So the next question we had was D.Va's ult. What will happen there? Can you save your team with a halt? No, it doesn't do anything. Basically, the halt will not target the D.Va mech when it is exploding. Up next is Mei's Ice Wall. We did a extensive amount of testing here, but it kind of interacts the way you would expect it to. If the ice wall is up, it will interact like an object, so things will run into it. You can hide behind the wall, and it'll work both for the enemy wall or for your wall. If Orisa is cut off from her halt bullet by an ice wall, she can still activate it, and it will still act normally. They'll just be on the other side of the wall, and it's not. There wasn't any weird gotchas with it as far as we could tell.
It did affect us.
Oh, that last little gotcha, it makes sense again. Even if the character gets targeted and starts getting pulled in, if a wall's in the way, the wall will block it. Next up on the list is Reaper. We wanted to test out how Halt would interact with the Reaper when he's going into the Wraith form or he's trying to get away. And this one acted a little bit differently than we expected. If Reaper gets targeted before he gets into Wraith form, even if he goes into Wraith form afterwards, he will still get pulled. However, if Reaper is already in Wraith form, he cannot be targeted. So see how that doesn't work or do anything? So it's a little bit of an interesting interaction, but basically if you see the green lights line up to show that the target's going to get hit, he's going to get pulled. But if you see him darting around in Wraith form, you got to wait for him to get out of it before it'll work. So Winston, what we were curious about is what happens with the leap ability. If he gets pulled midair, will the leap ability still do damage when he lands? We wanted to try this a few times, and it was actually a little bit tricky to test. The problem is that a character has enough speed going through the Orisa Halt. It's either really hard to time, or it seems that he can almost counteract the halt pull, because it's not that strong. It's pretty strong, but not that strong. But you'll see here the ability lands, but I still do damage upon falling down, so it doesn't interact. It doesn't counteract it. Last up again was we went back to Sombra to look at her when she's cloaked. The Orisa ability, the Orisa Halt, will target a cloaked Sombra. And it'll actually help you see where she is. However, it will not reveal her upon hitting because it doesn't deal any damage. Last up is Genji Deflect, and we want to confirm that Genji cannot deflect the shield, and he cannot. However, he can deflect the Halt ability, which you're going to see up next. Might make for a good Pong match. Thanks for watching. It's going to come up in just a second here, but thanks for watching, and thanks to my awesome testers, Olav, Bounty Z, and Not Steven. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!
No.